Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Michi Makes Up. As you saw in my last video, I showed you some items that I hauled recently from Westman Atelier, and today is my dedicated video to the brand. I'll be using all of my Westman Atelier makeup products and demoing it, as well as going over some background information like product information and as to why I have gravitated so much towards this brand. So I have my brows and concealer applied. We're going to go right into the foundation. For those unaware, Westman Atelier is a clean beauty brand and they have some serious commitment to that. I'll be talking about it just shortly here. A lot of their makeup is in stick form, you'll see in a bit. And this is, if you guys hear that, it's thundering. It's thunder. Like the camera is shaking. Okay. All right. The rain hasn't come down yet, but I'm sure any moment now. Right. So with the foundation stick, it's a magnetic closure. This is in the shade Atelier 1. And you can apply the foundation with a brush, with a sponge, with your fingers. I'm going to use my angled Koyudo brush today. Actually, I've exclusively saved this brush for this foundation because, you know, clean makeup, I want to just have one brush using the product. So what I'm going to do is I'll first just apply this much on each side. And I want to show you the kind of coverage you get. I just did one swipe here. So now going in with my brush, I am diffusing that, blending it into the skin. And the product is really easy to blend. It's buildable coverage. I would say buildable medium coverage. And so this is with what I would consider one application. I can still see some spots here, you know, my sunspots, and then a little bit of redness along here. But I think there's decent coverage. If I didn't want to have any more layers, this would be okay. I would basically apply finishing powder to set everything in, and I'd be okay with this. But for demonstration, I'm actually gonna go in and add one more, just a little bit here, so you guys can see the difference. I think Atelier 1 is a great fit for end of summer for me, but any moment now, if I were to spend time outside for an afternoon, it would likely then be too light. So I've actually gone ahead and ordered Atelier 4, several shades deeper, so that I can mix and match the two. I do believe that Atelier 4 will still work for me all through summer up until the end of summer when I should have like the most pigment on my skin. So this is with 2 applications and you can see there's more coverage. And typically if I am planning to wear the foundation all day, I actually do prefer 2 applications because I just like having more coverage. It doesn't need to be really heavy, but I want most redness and spots concealed for the most part. So what I find with the stick foundation is, and it could be also related to the concealer I'm using because I switched, I had been previously using Pat McGrath's concealer, and I've switched over to Beauty Counters, another clean beauty brand. So maybe that is related. Sometimes like in these areas here, you miss the spot or it doesn't quite get blended in. So what I do, and this is really an extra step, don't feel like you're gonna end up having to do this. I don't think that's the case. I'll take another Koyudo brush here. This is all made up of synthetic fibers. I'll actually go in like this This brush is very soft, has a lot of give, and it's great for getting into exactly these areas. It'll blend the product really nicely and disperse it, but it won't move so much of it that it begins to cover a larger area. So that is the very specific, specialized, I guess, tool, you could call it, that I use to get into this area. Again, I don't use it all the time, but when I do have the time, I think this is perfect to get that even coverage anywhere on the face. What I'm going to do next is something I don't normally do. I'm actually going to go and apply some highlighter on certain areas of my face. And this is the Light Up Highlight Stick in the shade Nectar. Also, it has that magnetic closure and the twist here to get the product. So I'm actually going to just tap it like this on both sides, and you can see instantly that glow. It really blends right into your skin, but it's definitely there. And this is very, very emollient. And then I'm going to use my finger to just even it out and spread it a bit on the cheeks. So it's very, very emollient. It's very easy to spread. You can see I now have that product on my fingers. I'm going to set everything on my face. What I have here is actually not Westman Atelier. It's from Milk Makeup, another clean beauty brand. So as you can see, after applying this mattifying powder to set the makeup, the area where I've applied the highlighter or the light up stick, you can see it's definitely shiny, and it definitely comes through the powder. Next, I'm going to use the Westman Atelier Baby Cheeks blush. This is in the shade Minette. Minette actually has it has like sparkles or flecks in it, and I'm gonna stamp this on my cheeks. You can use a sponge for more control. You can use your finger or a brush, and I find that stamping it really works for me. If I do add too much, I will go in with a finger, but this works really well for me, the times that I've used the blush, just stamping it. You can, of course, do a swipe and then go in with a sponge or another tool. Because Minette already has that sparkly finish, and it's really subtle. It's not like now you have a bunch of micro glitters on your face. It's nothing like that. It's quite subtle, and it's really, really pretty. It adds like instant radiance. I find that when I pair it with the highlighter, depending on the look I'm going for, I might look too glowy. So the reason why I put the highlight on, set it with the powder, and then the blush is for that reason. And I also wanted to see what that was going to be like. So this is the effect, and still very glowy. And I absolutely love the shade Minette. I think it's so pretty. It's got like a pinky, corally, like a peachy tones to it. So very pretty. And then next, you guys might have noticed by now that I am doing my eye makeup last, because I wanted to demonstrate. What I have here is the eye pods in Les Jours. I also went ahead and ordered Les Nuits, which is like the other set, another 3 that makes up the Les Nuits color story. This is Chocolat, the one that I showed before is Tobacco, and this shade here is Neige. I'm finishing my eye makeup last because you get no fallout with these products. And I will go in with a brush, but you can also use a finger. And I think they would just be still very easy to work with. So I'm gonna first go into Tobacco, and I'm putting that all over the lids. I'm being very generous. I think the shade is so beautiful. I actually use the same, these eye pods for my look in my last video. I'm so excited that I'm actually going back to create mostly the same look. So this is just one shade, You can get some kind of dimension, a very flattering monochromatic look just with this one shade. It's absolutely gorgeous. And what I've noticed about Westman Atelier and also with Victoria Beckham Beauty plus Beauty Counter is on their websites, they'll very plainly state which ingredients they won't include in their products at all. You can think of the ingredients on that list as the banned ingredients from their products. Now I'm going to go into chocolat. These have a creamy texture, but they blend right onto your skin or layer on top of a different shade really easily. So I'm actually applying that. So I hope that demonstrated how easily this kind of just went on. All the eye brushes I'm using are made up of undyed goat hair, so they can be used for cream and liquid products. Go back in to blend this out. I'm placing the shade onto the center of the lid, giving that added dimension. I'm also putting that on the inner corner. Now I do want to make the bottom lash line smoky. We're now really deviating from the look I had in my previous video. Same products, I'm just using more of it, making the whole thing more smoky rather than daytime casual. So I'm going to use a brush that I used for that chocolat, the deep shade, and I'm just going to do this. I don't need a lot. Just want to add a little bit of pigment. And now I'm ready to go back into Tabak. And then using this flat definer brush, this is from Sonia G's Keyaki brush set, I want to add a basically upper lash line liner. It won't be as easy or as pigmented as an actual pencil, but if you didn't have a liner, or at least like clean formulation liner, you could actually use the shade for the same purpose. For lips, I'm going into one of my favorite Victoria Beckham Posh lipstick shades. This is Spice. I think this goes wonderfully with Tabak. Beautiful. And then we will round it off with a Westman Atelier product. This is her Squeaky Clean Liquid Lip Balm. This is in the shade Ma Puce, which is a nice pinky nude color. It won't add much pigment onto this, very brown orangey shade, but it will instantly make everything very glossy. This is the finished look. Early on in this video, I mentioned how I'll talk about how I ended up gravitating towards this brand. It really began with watching review videos of Westman Atelier products, from Michelle Wong all the way to friends on YouTube. Michelle and Charlotte, mother-daughter duo, comes to mind. They are huge fans of Westman Atelier, and they have a number of videos comparing her products. And I'll link their channel, I'll put a link below of their channel, so definitely go check it out if you're interested. But yes, they are the cutest. They just love on each other, have great banter in their videos, and it's just so heartwarming to see a mother and daughter spending time together, and that's the way, that's how they bond. They gush over makeup and tease each other and just talk about other random things. So I really enjoy their channel, and they've always been just so supportive of my channel too. I think this was a great way for me to introduce them to you guys. So after seeing many review videos, it became apparent that people find that these products work well. Just because it's clean formulation, clean makeup, it doesn't mean that we can lower, or we need to lower our expectations on how well they perform. They seem to be generally really happy, so I felt good about getting into it. And second, and I know I mentioned this while I was putting on the makeup, is that they make it very transparent on the website what kind of ingredients they exclude from their products. So let me go through the list of ingredients they mention, and I just really appreciate this level of transparency, because if clean makeup is important to you, or maybe that is your lifestyle, you make sure that all products you put on your skin, anything that you eat, is clean and are free of certain ingredients, or are processed a certain way, your food, for example, or maybe not processed foods, right? Maybe you are on a whole food diet. I think it's really important to be able to get that information and to know that there is some level of accountability, or at least you as a consumer can ask questions like, what does it mean if you're excluding this, or where do you source this type of ingredient? And if you're really interested in ingredients, getting to know more, or you just want to see how these products that I've talked about today are rated on EWG, you can go ahead and check them out. I'll have a link below. But the EWG is basically the environmental working group, and their commitment is to just make available information so that shoppers can make decisions, informed decisions on what they're going to put on their skin. So the database in which you can check what these ingredients or what these products are rated as is called Skin Deep Database. So anyways, I'll have a link below. You guys can go check it out. As for Westman Atelier and their commitment to clean formulas, let me read some of that for you from their website. On the Westman Atelier website, there is a whole section which is labeled as our Clean Ingredients Promise. We strive to be as absolutely natural as we can be, but we also want our products to work. We'll always be completely transparent about our formulations so you can feel good about your skin from the inside out. And on their no list of ingredients, they describe it as, we surpass the highest international standards of cosmetic safety, including the EU's list of 1,400 no-list chemicals. We also go by Gucci's list, a collective of banned ingredients cultivated from rigorous research and our founder's instincts as a mother, makeup artist, and champion of holistic living. Below are the most frequently asked about ingredients: parabens, sulfates, PEGs, phthalates, formaldehyde donors, mineral oil, BHA and BHT, hydroquinone, mercury and mercury compounds, retinol, gluten, and silicones. There are no animal testing in any of their products. Most of their products are vegan, not all of them, and they actually do talk about which are not exactly on their website. So there are a lot of ingredients that are no, in addition to the already 1,400 list of ingredients on the banned EU list. So what are their products made of? Some of the highlighted ingredients are caper extract, which helps calm skin and reduce the appearance of redness. Organic jojoba oil provides antioxidant protection, improves hydration, and strengthens the skin's moisture barrier. Coconut oil rejuvenates dehydrated skin and provides soothing properties to improve elasticity and skin tone, rich in lauric acid and natural antibacterial and calming properties. Marula oil supports skin from environmental stressors and provides essential fatty acids for healthy skin. Okay, there's actually a lot more that they listed here, but I'll pick one more, and I think this one is interesting because we frequently do see this ingredient in especially eyeshadows. Naturally derived mica delivers instant lumosity and radiance. So it's not only eyeshadow, but anything that has radiance and lumosity, you know, those like little specks and sparkles you might see in their products. Frequently it has, or mica is what is in the ingredient. So naturally derived mica is different from, I guess, man-made, and even for naturally derived, I think there is some concern with contamination, so it depends on the supplier of this ingredient as well. So before I go here, the other reason that I want to get into clean makeup and make it as part of my regular routine is I am curious because I want to see how these perform on my skin. And second, I have actually switched over to a low inflammation diet. I actually have very, very bad allergies, and yes, I can go to an allergist and they could, do a bunch of testing. They might be able to even, create some kind of serum that I could inject into myself to help me build up my immune system. To me, I actually do want to try the more natural route before I head in that direction, because I didn't used to have these allergies that are all year round, and they really are bothersome. If I don't rinse my nose every day, use nasal spray and an antihistamine, I basically have a very hard time functioning the next day. So I feel like the whole allergy situation combined with maybe other health clues that I've seen in the past couple of years, I feel like these perhaps are also related to hormonal changes. And so a low inflammation diet is actually, I started out very strict with this diet so that I could understand once I started adding things back in how I would react. And since doing this, or since going on to this diet, it's been 2 months now. I no longer need to take antihistamines every day, and that is a huge deal for me. That's why, in addition to the diet, I also want to complement the other parts of my life where, well, maybe I'll get some additional improvements there. Let's see what works. And this gives me a chance, on top of that, to try different makeup brands, and that suits me just fine. So there you go. That's why I've gravitated towards clean makeup. I'm really on a kick here, and I truly believe it is here to stay, at least in my makeup routine. Let me know below if you have any questions. Would love to get into conversations about your take on clean makeup, or they're part of your makeup routine. Love to get your thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. See you again in the next one. Bye.